Okay, I mean, in the meantime, you are figuring out the broadcasting. We should be working, reading on something. Is that right?
Yeah, no. After, like, I'm going live on Facebook right now, so I'm just walking through the steps. So it is not responding yet to me to tell me that it has broadcast or not, right? And now it's saying live on Facebook, which is a good first step. Then what it asks me to do is it's asked me to put the title, right? And normally that's the time, and I think it starts to broadcast even at that time, and I can check. Before I start giving the titles, it starts broadcasting. Is the funny thing, and I didn't realize that. So let's see. Yeah. So you have to be very careful when you're going online. So now it's asking me to give the title, which I haven't given, and yeah. And then of course there's a delay also. So even if I try to see it over here, maybe it's already broadcasting, but I don't know. So it's only when I go and listen to the recording that if all this gets recorded there, I will know that, okay, we were broadcasting like that, And I think, yes, and I can, yeah. So I have now gone live, there. And
It doesn't show on your wall yet. I guess until you put the title, it's not gonna.
I have put the title already. That's what I'm saying. So there's some kind of a delay also. And then by the time you go back and look at the recording, you realize that, oh, you know what? It was broadcasting from the moment you press the button, because I can see that we are live here.
I see.
I can see you and Manasi there, You're live. And yeah, you're alive and kicking on Facebook. Yeah. So, but nevertheless, it's good that we have now, we were lucky today that we are able to broadcast on Facebook, which I can't see yet I was able to see that on my computer, but I was not able to see it on my cell phone yet. So yeah, and that's fine, I guess. As we fine tune this, we will know. Yeah, now I can see, so which is good. I just need to switch on a light over here so that I can read it, and it's already 6:30 and we'll get started. Good that we have now, we were lucky today that we are able to. Okay, and let's see. So I don't know, was it playing on your machine? What was it?
I just looked at
okay, I thought, all right, that's good. Okay, so let's get going here. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, welcome to our class on Bhagavad Gita. We are reading from first chapter, so thank you so much for joining. And Rohit Kumar Prabhu from India is joining us also today on Facebook. And thank you so much, Rohit, for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you in your class, in my class. And then again, I'm looking forward to hearing to your recording. And here on the Zoom, we have got Suyash and Manasi, and also Varshana Mataji joining us from India. Awesome. Hare Krishna. Okay, so without much ado, I will start sharing my screen so that we can all start reading. And today, is Sunday, so I need to go to a class which starts at 7 p.m. my time, 7 a.m. my time. So just wanted to make sure that, and I think I had the chapter 1 open. Is the font good enough for you?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good. So we will go in this order of reading. We will have Suyash, Manasi, Varshana Mataji, and Khyati, Hare Krishna, and Ram.
So should we start with Vigyan Panchaka or should we end with it?
Okay, I just want to end with that. Yeah, today. Yeah.
Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Text 1. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupal.
I'm just going to scroll here.
Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
Hare Krishna. Text 7, Mataji?
No, 5.
Sorry, Mataji. There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drashtaketu, Chikistan, Kashi Raja, Purijit, Kunti Bhoj, and Sebia.
Okay,
There are
let's
the
come back.
mighty
Let's wait here and go back to this one.
Chekitana.
Chekitan, and it is not Chekistan, right? It's
Yes,
not
yes.
Pakistan. Chekitan. All right. Okay, let's go to 6th one now.
Yes. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Khyati?
But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captain who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle.
There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhim, is limited.
Text 11. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy.
After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sounds was tumultuous. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on the great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Text 15. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell, called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Abhim, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundara. Text 16 and 18. Text 16 to 18. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Anantavijaya, and Nakul and Sadev blew Sughosh and Mani Pushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikande, Drashtadamyana, Virat, and unconquerable Satyaki, Drupad, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
Hare Krishna. So this is
Hare Krishna.
this one is Dhrishtadyumna. So this is dy, right? Yeah, it's a half da and a ya, right? In Sanskrit.
Dyumna.
Yeah.
Drishtadyumna.
Dhrishtadyumna. Yeah.
Drishtadyumna.
Good. Okay. Khyati?
The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the son of Dhritarashtra. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated on the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words.
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Text 24. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here."
Text 26. There Arjuna could see, within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and all his fathers-in-law and the well-wishers. Text 27. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Text 28. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiv is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning." Hare Krishna.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of Kesi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
Text 36. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddesses of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Text 37-38. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
Text 39. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Text 40. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Rishi, comes unwanted progeny.
Text 41. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes a hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Text 42. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family traditions and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are demonstrated. Hare Krishna.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplinic succession that those whose family tradition are destroyed dwell always in hell. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Hari Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we did one, right? Now I think we should go and do our, before we go deep into the words, we'll go and do our prayers for the day. And my apologies, I don't have that up here. We are doing the Vigyapti Panchaka. And by the way, I sent you all the later version of that yesterday on the WhatsApp group. So just make sure that you download it at some particular point in time.
We have it here, Mataji.
You have it here? Okay, yeah. Hold on.
I can
I'm
share
trying-
that quick.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That's excellent idea. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, you can go ahead. Oh, hold on. You can't because I need to allow you to do that. Okay, you're able to do it. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So let's get going. We will, I'm going to temporarily put all of you on mute because we are recording, and then I will recite the Sanskrit, and then we will come back and do the verses there. And if you can, are you all able to read it? If yes, then that's fine. Otherwise, we'll have to ask US Prabhu to Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, now better, Mataji.
Okay, very good. Very good. So just mute yourself, and or maybe I'll just do that. Okay. Matsamo nasti papatma na paradhi ch kaschana parihare pi lajjame kim bhruve purushottama yuvatinam yatha yuni yunam cha yuvatau yatha mano bhi ramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvai bhumau skhalita padanam भूमिरेवावलम्बनं त्वयि जाता पराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभु. Okay, will you scroll that please? गोविन्द वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयम् इति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निज पादाब्जा दास्यं माह्यं प्रदीयताम्. And we will now go and do the translation, so you can unmute yourself. So I think we are back to the right. So Yash Prabhu has to read now.
Yes.
So I read the last ones, right?
Translation. O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in young women, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone.
Just as the ground is the only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you.
Hare Krishna. O Shrimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants.
O Srimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. All right, so now I'll share the screen again, and we will go now deep into our verse for today, which is verse number 19. And isn't it funny? Khyati Mati was pointing out yesterday that today is 19th of April. And today is also, we are doing the 19th verse. Incidentally, 22 years ago, my mom left her body on this day, on the 19th of April.
Oh.
And well, she was a devotee in her own rights. And she led a very nice life. And what I learned from her was, through thick and thin, she never gave up God, and I never heard her say, why is God doing this to me? She never uttered those words throughout her life. And I can also say that, people of that generation had a lot of character in them. So
yes,
that's up to you, wherever you are, Mom. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita 1.19. And whose turn is it to read?
Your turn, Mataji.
Is it? How do I manage it? Saghoshodhart rashtraणam hridayani vidarayat nabhascha prithuvim chaiva tumulobhya anunadayan. Synonyms. Whose turn to give us synonyms?
Yeah. Synonyms. Saha, that. Ghosha, vibration. Dhritarashtranam, of the sons of Dhritarashtra. In Hridayani, hearts. Vidarayat, Vyadarayat, shattered. Nabha, Nabha, the sky. Cha, also. Prithvim, the surface of the earth. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Tumulha, uproarious. Abhyanu, Abhyanunadayan, Abhyanunadayan,
Yes.
resounding.
Resounded, right? So then nag or nag, nad hua, shankh nad hua, right?
Hmm.
You hear that word nad. So you see the
Yeah.
nad is over here, is resounding, right? Okay. So I just wanted to mention something about this word, this one over here, the sons of Dhritarashtra, right? So in Sanskrit, it is quite common to use the name of the father, right? So they are sons of Dhritarashtra, and you see how they address. They are called Dhartarashtra now. Dhartarashtra. So the father's name is Dhrit, but it becomes Dhartarashtra like that. So that's how the language goes there. Okay.
Translate.
Translation. Yeah.
The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
Okay.
Purport. When Bhim and others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells,
Okay. Hold
there
on.
was,
So
yes,
who is on the side of Duryodhan?
side of Duryodhana,
Yeah. Who is on the side of Duryodhan?
Bhishma.
Bhishma.
Bhishma, right? And not Bhima.
Oh, I said Bhima. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, be with the text. Yeah. Focus on the text.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes a shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity.
Hari bol. Okay,
Hare
just give me a
Krishna.
second. I wanted to bring up something here. I need to stop sharing my screen, and we see the nice. Everything has become red. I don't know on my screen, which is good. We are entering into the war of Mahabharata. So if something comes up red, it is okay. So here, I just wanted to check something here. So do you see something on your screens right now?
Polls, yes.
All right. So can you go through this? I'm
Mhm.
going to give you a minute to go through this and put your response, starting from now.
Yudhishthira.
There are two questions there. You have to answer both of them. So till now, one person has responded. I can see that.
Madhuri, where to write the answer?
It will allow you to click, right? You click and select.
You can do it, Madhuri.
Okay, so far two have responded.
Can we change answer?
No, it doesn't allow. I'll have to relaunch the poll, and in that case, everybody has to do it. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. These are anonymous, so nobody will know if there's a wrong answer. who gave the wrong answer? Okay. Do you need more time?
Mataji, I'm writing on my page, so I'll tell you.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Okay. Kathy, are you in a position to respond?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay. And then okay, good. So I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results over here. Okay. So we have, what is the name of the conch shell that Yudhishthir blew? So
Anant
one said Manu Pushpaka and one said Anant Vijaya. And the correct answer is Ananta Vijaya. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha. Right? We did that. What is the name of the conch shell that Bhima blew? And so all of you had got that right, which is Pandra. Varshana, yeah. So these are the answers. I don't want to call out your answers because this is supposed to be.
Mataji, I said Panchajanya was blew by Lord Krishna blew Panchajanya.
Okay. And what was the question?
Yudhishthir.
Yeah. So which one did Yudhishthir blow?
Ananta Vijaya.
Yes, correct, for 20 points. And the second question was, what was the conch shell that Bhima blew?
Devadatta. No. Devadatta. No.
Devadatta means given by
Arjuna.
God. Who gave the conch shell?
Arjuna. To Arjuna it was given.
To Arjuna it was given. Good, good. So Bhim.
Yeah. Bhim is.
So let us look at the other options which are there, right? So we have Hare Krishna, right? So that is ruled out. You know, it's a fun question. Then Rishikesh is not the name of a conch shell, it's name of Krishna, right? Panchajanya, you said no. That leaves us with Pandra and Sughosh, right? And there's a lot that is involved in the naming there of these things, right? So Bhim is like, who's Bhim? The big one, right? The giant, the killer, right? So and Sughosh means ghoshna karna, bolna, awaz nikalna, right? So to make a sound, Sughosh. So Su is good, so a good sound, right? Maybe a sweet and nice, you know, that kind of a sound.
So Bhima Sughosh.
So is that something that you will equate with Bhima, or being the strong and the valiant one? You know, you will equate something else. So now you're left with Pandra and Sughosh. So by just eliminating, you're saying that it cannot be Sughosh because Bhim is the terrific one, right? So Pandra is the right answer. Pandram Dadmo, right? Okay, so there we go. So again, I was saying that this time we are going and reading the Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly, which means that you know that we when we are reading it, we have to be full focused attention on everything. And then also it will help you tremendously. And this is what happens in a class. Like, you know, you're sitting in the class, it's Krishna Katha, no matter who is speaking, you know, it's wonderful, it's always amazing, it's always nice. And then after the class is over, you're like, oh, I liked it. Yeah, what did you like about it? I don't remember. Right. And it was very nice. The Sanskrit was so nice, how nicely Vyasadeva calculates all these, and he says that what wonderful rhythm and what wonderful meter, and what a nice way of saying the same thing in poetry, what could have been expressed in text. And we admire. But then after all that admiration, you have to also assimilate that information into you, right? So when we assimilate that information, that is when it gets into your psyche. And one way of making sure that the information assimilates into you is to go back and read the word again. Right? So it'll get stayed into memory, and you have to go back and revisit them again and again. And that's why we keep reading Bhagavad Gita all the time. Why? Because we will forget, right? After all, we are in Kali Yuga, and we are well known for very short memory, right? Manda sumanda matiyo, right? Madda bhaga apaditaha, it says in Bhagavatam. So we have a short memory, so we have to constantly be in touch with these and go back and read the verses. And if you revise them, you know, pretty soon, because as it happens, it's an exponential curve with which we will start forgetting all these things, right? So what that means is, instead of letting it, you know, go down like that, if we keep on, you know, reviving it, then instead of going down, okay, it went down, but then you read it again, so it'll go back up to the same level, right? And then it'll come down again, so you make it ref, so it becomes like that, you know. So it constantly keeps falling down, and you keep bringing it up like that. Okay, so maybe during that day, maybe before the class the next day, just read the verse one more time, and then it'll get, etched into it. It's not the Sanskrit that I'm saying, but the essence have to be there, that have to be there in the mind. Okay, so reflections on the verse from today, and which is verse number 19. So what
I really like when Prabhupada said that hearts of Dhritarashtra's son was shattered, but that didn't happen on the Pandavas' side, right? Because Krishna was on their side. So
interesting, right?
that was really very striking to see the difference.
Yeah. So
Suyash Prabhu is speaking on mute.
Suyash Prabhu, we want to know what you're sharing in private.
Sons of Dhritarashtra's counsels were described like they were loud, so and so, but none of them said vibrating both in the sky and on the earth.
So what does it mean to vibrate in the sky?
Devlok and everything
Yeah,
that was getting affected.
exactly right. So it went into the higher planetary systems also, right? Why are they saying? Sorry, go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, I was saying, so sound vibration has that much potency that it can go around like all three words, and it can pervade the different words as well.
Exactly, sound is powerful. Sound is
Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
And from where does the Hare Krishna Mahamantra come?
It's transcendental.
So from where does it come?
Golok.
Goloka
From
Vrindavan.
Golok Vrindavan, right? It comes and penetrates all the layers around this universe and enters into your heart if you allow it to enter into your heart. And how does it enter into your heart? We did that in the class yesterday. What route does it take? 101, 880, 92?
Yes.
What does it take? What route does it take? What route does the Hare Krishna mantra take to enter into your heart?
Through ears.
Through the ears, right? Yeah, through the ears, it will go into your heart. Now, any other reflections?
And in the end, Prabhupada explains, one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of greatest calamity.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm about to say this, but the same thing I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, great minds think alike. Right? So, yeah. And so why do they use the word heartbroken?
Because Mataji, as it is, they were scared. This one, Duryodhana, when he looked at the setup of the army of Pandavas, that time itself, you see, he went to tell Dronacharya, to tell him that what have you done? You have trained Drishtadamnu's son, and look at this, that the way he has arranged it. So from there itself, the fear started. So the fear was there in his mind, and that is why when he heard the sound of all the transcendental conscience, it really shattered their hearts.
Yes, so why did it shatter? Why was the heart shattered? What was his heart put on that it shattered? Assume that his heart was made of glass and he had put his faith in something, right? What was his faith deciding on?
Mataji, his faith was that he will be victorious, and now he's getting the feeling. I mean, it is getting more prominent that yes, now you are going to lose. There is no way you can
win. Exactly right. So you see, he first looked at the grass. He first looked at the grass, right? Look at the arrangement, and he sees the arrangement, runs towards his spiritual master, not his spiritual master, to his military master, and he says, Drishtva tu Panduvani kam, Yuram Duryodhanastada, Acharya Upasangamya. He goes and runs there, right? He goes near him. And Raja Vachanam Abravit, Paschyatam Pandu Putranam. Look at that, right? So he's looking at the grass. And then he sees the subtle. He sees the fighting spirit of the Pandavas based on the way that they were blowing the conch shell. And it was tumultuous. So if the sound is, if it's a tumultuous sound, then it should have affected both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And as you all have rightly pointed out, because the Pandavas had their faith resting on Krishna, whereas Duryodhan had his faith resting on the huge amount of armies and all the kings who were supporting, for whatever reason that they were supporting it. So the same thing is that, those who are against the Lord, their hearts are hollow. They have no confidence inside. That it takes just a little coronavirus to shake them,
Yeah.
But the devotee does not. And when we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, he came to New York. What did he have with him? He had confidence
40
and 40 rupees and Bhagavatams. He had confidence on his spiritual master. He had confidence in Krishna. And all that he came here to do was to glorify Krishna, right? And he was victorious. It was not that he was not victorious. And it also, keep in mind, it was not that he was not victorious all the time, right? But the thing is that even if you're not victorious, we have to continue to be and remain in the service of Krishna, whether you get good results or you don't get good results at all. That's the key point that we have to take away. And that is that on a practical level, if you are sitting down and you are chanting and your mind is going here and there and you are frustrated from your chanting and you are frustrated from your devotional life, still don't give up, because Prabhupada did not give up. Prabhupada faced so many downfalls in his life materially, right? His business went away. Then he went to Jhansi. He tried to set up a league. That failed. And then, of course, to top it all, the day after he took sannyasa, a big bull came and gored him. Like, what is that? Right? But he continued, and ultimately he got victory, right? He was able to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So that talks a lot about, our necessity and to make a good judgment on where do you repose your faith? Where are you putting your Shraddha? Like that, right? And later on in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which we will reach one day, Krishna says, Mam chayo bhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samitityatan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So he's saying that one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances. Unfailing in all circumstances, and which is no matter what your circumstances are. And today, especially, it's 19th of April, and I'm thinking about my mom. She went through a lot of thick and thin in her life, but her devotion to the Lord was unfailing in all circumstances. So that's what we should also do. Okay. So with that said, it's 7:06, and I think my teacher is pinging me to join the other call. So I'll take leave of all of you who are watching us on Facebook. So, and as well as those who are here on Zoom with me, we will meet again, and we are going to meet again on Monday morning. Right? And Monday is a special day. I've been asked also to give a lecture at one of the temples here in a city close by, Modesto. Of course, I can't go to Modesto, so we'll be having a Zoom call, which means that if they allow me to broadcast on Facebook, then you can join that session as well. Okay? So then from today to tomorrow, Hare Krishna to all of you. And thank you so much, all of you, for joining on time today. It makes a world of a difference.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.